What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the TJR Auto channel. My name is Tyler, and in today's video, clearly, we're playing with the GTO. Now, for those who don't know, this is my 2004 Pontiac GTO named Gemma, who is a beautiful heap of shit. Now, anywhoosins, today's video, we're going to be focusing on one of my favorite things, the ass. Now, you may be asking yourself, Tyler, what are we doing with the rear end of this banana? Well, I want to play with some suspension stuff, primarily drag bags. Now, for those who don't know, drag bags are essentially just a little airbag that you can hook up or put into your rear springs, and they're commonly known in the GTO world for being a cheap solution to wheel hop, getting rid of the wheel hop, I should say. For those who don't know, these cars are plagued with wheel hop from factory. It's just one of those lovely IRS car things. But anyways, I would like to get drag bags under the rear of this car. Now, for those who do know, this car actually already has a set of drag bags, but the problem is only one of them holds air, the other one does not. I've never investigated it, so I figure let's get the car up in the air, let's do some investigations, some diagnostics, and see why the other bag doesn't hold air. I do have a brand new box with some airlift drag bags. They come with, I think they have the lines, the fittings, clamps, all that kind of stuff. So at the worst, we'll be doing a full install, and at the best, maybe we're just fixing a line or two. Let's dig in. Well, it turns out that this line over here, right, the line for the bag that is zip tied to a brake line and zip tied to another brake line down here, it's just broken. It's just broken off. So this is doing nothing. As we can tell, that's not connected to that. So with that being said, we basically just need to replace the line on this side, and it should be fine. Now I'm going to crack the Sawzall out and cut this top nub off, just so the bag can actually sit like a barrel, like it's supposed to, and not be all crunched up and give it potentially another fail point. Alrighty, so I got these little nubs cut out from the top. I basically just went flush with the top spring, coil of the spring, I guess. I also pulled the old line off this because I put about 25 PSI in this bag, and it bled out within a couple minutes. Something I did notice on this setup is there was no fittings holding on the lines to any of like the threaded nipples or the barbed nipples, I guess, right? So theoretically, the system would have never even worked if the line wasn't broken on the other. Like, I don't know how somebody can do so many wrong things to a car. And I'm not even just blaming the guy that I got the car from, because I know he didn't really work on it. It was more so he gave shops a lot of money to work on it. So it's honestly just sad to see how much shit can be done incorrectly for such a high dollar. Kills me. Because I'm doing this shit for free. And I'm doing it right. You know what I mean? It is my car, granted. But so I'm going to hold on to this airline. But I did go and dig out my old kit that I found, which are airlift drag bags. So they came with new lines. This is what the bags look like. So if you look at it, significantly smaller of a bag compared to the ones that are in it. And mind you, I have this one folded in so I could kind of crunch it up to get the line off the bottom. But I would say the bags in the car probably have another inch or two height-wise on top of these. So I'm not saying that these are bad bags. I have no idea if they work great or not. They all do the same shit, so I'm sure it's fine. I don't know what brand is in the car, though. Maybe they're BMRs. I'm not sure which ones are taller. So I would expect the ones in the car to theoretically work better. Since they're taller, they're going to fill the spring out more and, be stiffer, I guess. So I'm going to hold on to these bags for another day. But a cool thing, they came with a sticker. I like that. And it also came with all of the fittings I need to correctly mount the Schrader at the back and all the little fittings and clamps to correctly install the lines. So we're going to redo this with the old bags, new lines, new fittings, and hopefully these will work out just fine. Okay, guys, I figured I would touch up on these. This is a little red rubber-like isolator. The kit came with them. They're supposed to go above and below the airbags themselves, basically just to give it like a nice little pedestal to sit on and also push up into. So I figured I'd just let you guys know I did install those. And then here, I just ran the air line. It was very simple. And in the next clip, I will show you how I actually hooked up the rear fitting where you actually put the air into it. I grabbed this little clippy clip clamp thingy, which I absolutely hate because they love popping out of your hold. We'll shove that over the line, give it a little bit of room, something like that. On this new fitting, I was able to use some muscle and get it on there. You want it like that, you want it maxed out up to the fitting. You don't want any more brass, or you don't want anything showing. Alright, so now we have this line installed. Technically we could throw pressure in this and see if it holds, but we might as well get it installed right here first. So we're going to take one of the supplied nuts, throw that up onto here, then a lock washer as per the instructions. Then that'll go into the hole just like ye. And then we have a rubber washer, a normal washer, the spiky washer, and then another nut. So we'll shove all these on. I'm not gonna lie, the rubber washer is honestly kind of a pain in the ass, but shove it past like that, and throw the nut on. And the kit also did come with valve stem caps, so if you don't have any sitting around for whatever reason, because I have a lovely collection in my toolbox that I never use. Now that contraption looks like that. So we'll take our trusty dusty air. Alright, now pop the bag up. Okay, that was max pressure. Let's not do that. That was a little much. It's 25. It's over 20. Alright, we have 20 psi in this one on the dot. The other one I also did 20 psi on the dot. I'm gonna let these sit for a little while, make sure that they're actually holding pressure. I don't hear anything hissing out though right away, so we're probably okay. But yeah, they look good. It definitely, you see them blow up almost like a balloon, and then those things are kind of scary. I don't really want to be near them. But, you know, I mean, for drag bags, this is probably the best you're going to get. I mean, yeah, you could do some fancy stuff, run them up into your trunk and whatnot, but I figure, in my eyes, the way I picture it, let's say I go to a gas station, I got to fill one of my tires with air. Oh, I might as well check the drag bags. I can come right to the back and do this. I don't have to pop the trunk and go into the trunk or go into a weird spot in the wheel well. I've seen some people do them, so it should be pretty nifty having them here. They look kind of cool hanging down like this. So I also just threw some black paint on the drive shaft where it just recently rubbed. So I figured now what we'll do, since the bags are holding air, I just gave everything a quick wipe down, even though it still looks dirty as shit. Looks better than it did. So should be good here. And since I had the black paint out, decided to paint that little lower section here that was yellow. So it looks a little bit nicer, I suppose. But yeah, so I took the air out of the bags. I figure we'll put the car on the ground, roll it back a couple feet so the wheels are sitting good. And then I want to pump some air up into it so you guys can actually see the difference, because it will change the ride height if you put a certain amount of air in. I'm more so looking to just throw enough air in to hold the springs a little bit stiffer than they currently are. That picked up the ass of the car instantly. That is 25 psi on the dot. Now, pretty cool. I don't think I need that much pressure. Like I said, I'm looking to really just kind of stiffen up the springs themselves. It's just under 15. It's got 16 psi. Yeah, I'd definitely say it's part of our issue. So, if there's any GTO owners like me that are not fully educated on these chassis, then you probably don't know about this because I sure as shit didn't. Now, if you look over on the left side of the screen at that number one bolt, I physically have that bolt holding the diff to the subframe. Now, there's 3 other locations right around there that use the same exact identical bolt as number 1 in those spots. Those 3 are just MIA. The 2 rear ones, as I just showed in the previous clip, you can see the diff actually hanging down. I jacked the car up a certain way, and I could actually see the diff hang a little bit, and I was like, oh, that's not good. So we're missing 3 out of 4 diff bolts that mount from the diff to the subframe. So I'm going to take a guess and say that that is probably 99% of my drive shaft rubbing issues and my wheel hop. So the drag bags, I would call a successful install, but their life is kind of useless at this point since those bolts are missing. Alrighty guys, well that's where we're going to be wrapping up today's video. Overall, the drag bags are a very simple thing to install. I mean, the only other steps you'd have to do would be take your brand new bag, compress it, shove it into the spring, cut those 2 nubs off, and then you're good to go. Obviously, again, I ended up just running new lines. They're still holding air just fine, so I have no problem with that. But just there's so many things on this car that I keep finding that need to be replaced. So I have a feeling that we're going to be doing some new suspension components, as well as I also ordered those missing bolts for the diff to the subframe because I did confirm those open holes are supposed to have bolts in them and they don't. So that's probably why I have so much wheel hop and drive shaft rubbing issues, but that's for another day. So some parts are in order, so obviously expect to see some more GTO content in the near future. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. I truly do appreciate it. If you want to support the channel more than you already do, make sure to hit the link down below and purchase a TJR Auto sticker. But anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one.